Welcome to the Real Money Pathway, where I share my journey from financial collapse to lasting wealth. I'm David Kim, and I'll guide you through practical strategies that transform my finances and can transform yours too. Let's build your pathway to financial freedom.
The content of this podcast is provided for general information purposes only and do not constitute financial advice. Listeners should not act upon the content or information here without first seeking appropriate advice from a financial professional.
Welcome back to Real Money Pathway. I'm David Kim, and today we're talking about something that became crucial to my recovery, but that I initially resisted: building a financial security team. I want to start with a confession. For the first year of my recovery, I was determined to figure everything out myself. I had an MBA, I had certified financial planner training, and frankly, my pride was a little hurt. The last thing I wanted was to admit I needed help with money management after such a spectacular financial failure. But there was a moment about 18 months into my recovery that I realized this approach was actually limiting my progress. I was sitting with my friend Casey, probably back at that same dining room table, who had been my informal financial mentor, when he asked me a simple question that changed my thoughts on this. David, you wouldn't try to fix your own car transmission or represent yourself in court. Why are you trying to navigate your financial recovery by yourself? That conversation led me to understand something important. Having the right financial team isn't about admitting your mistakes or your weaknesses. It's about leveraging expertise that accelerate your progress and avoid costly mistakes. Over the years since then, my financial team has definitely evolved from Casey's kitchen table to a comprehensive network of professionals who each contribute to different aspects of my financial security. And the beautiful thing is you can build this kind of support at any stage of your financial journey. Today, I'd like to share how to identify when you need professional help, how to find affordable guidance during recovery, and how to build professional relationships that grow with your financial situation. So the biggest mistake I made during early recovery was thinking that needing professional help was a sign of failure. In reality, knowing when to seek expert guidance is a sign of financial wisdom. I fell into that DIY trap. During my first year of rebuilding, I spent countless hours researching tax strategies, investment options, insurance products, and legal requirements. While this education was valuable, it was also incredibly time-consuming and often led to analysis paralysis. I remember spending 3 weeks researching different investment platforms for my small weekly contributions, trying to optimize fees and features. Casey finally pointed out that I was spending more time researching than actually saving, or what the potential savings would justify. That's when I learned the concept of opportunity cost, actually applied to my own time. The hours I spent trying to become an expert in every financial area were hours I wasn't spent on growing my consulting business or rebuilding my life. Recognizing your knowledge gaps is one of the most important pieces. The turning point came when I realized there were areas of my general financial knowledge that was insufficient for my specific situation. Bankruptcy creates very unique tax implications, insurance complications, and legal requirements that go well beyond just basic financial planning. For example, I knew generally how estimated tax payments work, but I didn't understand the specific implications of irregular consulting income combined with the timing of my bankruptcy discharge. A tax professional helped me set up a system that saved me from penalties and cash flow problems. Now, there's always a cost of mistakes. Perhaps more importantly, I started calculating the cost of financial mistake versus the cost of professional guidance. When I nearly missed claiming the insolvency exception on forgiven debt from my bankruptcy, it could have cost me thousands in unnecessary taxes. A $300 consultation with a tax professional prevented that mistake. Similarly, when I was ready to invest but paralyzed by options, a fee-only financial planner helped me create an appropriate investment strategy in one meeting that probably would have taken me months to develop on my own. And sometimes it's just emotional support and objectivity. Financial recovery is emotionally challenging, and professionals provide an objectivity that's hard to maintain when you're personally invested in the outcome. During my second year of recovery, I was completely obsessed and cautious about spending anything, even on necessary business expenses. My CPA helped me understand that some spending was investment, not consumption. This perspective shift allowed me to invest in business development activities that actually accelerated my income recovery. Working with established professionals also provides credibility that helped in other areas of my financial life. When I was ready to move from a secured to unsecured credit card, having an accountant and business attorney help establish my legitimacy as a business owner rather than just someone rebuilding from bankruptcy. Then the professionals that I work with had systems and templates that, again, would have taken me months to create and develop by myself. My business attorney, for example, had standard consulting contracts that protected me legally while looking professional to clients. This allowed me to focus my time and energy on activities that directly generated income rather than trying to become an expert or a legal expert in contract writing in every supported area. Now, the goal isn't to become dependent on professionals for every financial decision. Instead, it's about building the knowledge and the systems with professional guidance, then maintain them independently. For example, after working with a tax professional for about 2 years, I understood my situation well enough to handle my routine tax preparation independently while knowing when to consult for complex issues. And then finally, if you wrap all this around confidence, it builds your financial confidence. Working with knowledgeable professionals actually increased my financial confidence rather than undermining it. Having expert validation of my strategies and decisions provided the confidence to make and take appropriate risks, as well as make larger financial commitments. When I was considering the purchase of my first rental property, having input from my accountant, attorney, and even insurance agent helped me structure the investment properly and even analyze it to see if it was a good investment and move forward confidently rather than second guessing my decisions. The key insight is that professional help isn't about replacing your financial knowledge, it's about supplementing it strategically to avoid costly mistakes and accelerate progress toward your goals. So now that we know we need professional guidance, how do we find affordable professional guidance? One of the biggest barriers to seeking professional help, especially during recovery, is that cost. When you're carefully managing every single dollar that you earn and you spend, paying for professional services feels impossible. But I discovered a few strategies to access quality guidance without breaking my recovery budget. First, start with fee only consultations. Instead of ongoing advisory relationships, I started with one time consultations with fee only professionals. Many financial planners, attorneys, and accountants offer hourly consultations that can provide tremendous value for specific questions that you have. My first consultation was with a fee only financial planner who charged $200 for a 2 hour session. In that meeting, we created an investment strategy for my small weekly contributions and established principles that I still use today. The $200 investment probably saved me thousands in fees and poor investment choices and my time researching over the following years to now. Then you can leverage professional associations. Many professional associations offer pro bono or reduced fee services for people in financial distress. The National Association of Professional Financial Advisors has a pro bono program, and many state bar associations offer reduced fee legal clinics. I found my first business attorney through the State Bars Association in Texas with a reduced fee program. While the session was limited to just 1 hour, it was enough to help get my LLC formed and understand my basic legal obligations. There's also educational seminars and workshops. Many professionals offer free educational seminars that provide valuable information and allow you to evaluate their expertise before paying for that individual service. I attended several workshops on small business taxes and estate planning that provided useful and helped me identify the professionals that I wanted to work with. These seminars also often include basic handouts and templates that can be very valuable, even if you don't hire the presenter. Then there's the networks. Once you find a good professional, they often provide referrals to others. My accountant referred me to my business attorney, and they referred me to an insurance agent who all understand small business needs. This referral network helped me find professionals who were used to working together as well and understood my situation. Then there's technology and remote services. Online platforms have professional services more accessible and more affordable to people in recovery. I used legal online services like LegalZoom for basic document preparation and found online tax professionals who specialize in self employment situations. While these services lack the personal relationship of traditional professional services, they can provide some quality guidance at a much lower cost for routine matters. Now, with all this in mind, you have to avoid professional service pitfalls. During financial recovery, it's important to avoid professionals who promise unrealistic results or quick fixes, those that require large upfront payment for ongoing services, or those that seem more interested in selling products rather than providing advice. And worst, those that don't understand or even seem a little judgmental about your recovery situation. Your primary goal is finding professionals who understand your situation. They provide value appropriate to your current needs and can grow with you as your financial improvement continues. Once you've built professional relationship, it's about building and continuing to build the relationships that grow with you and your financial situation. The most valuable professional relationships I built during recovery weren't just about solving immediate problems. They were about creating ongoing partnerships that evolved with my changing financial situation. My approach to building professional relationships started with transparency about my situation as well as my goals. When I first met my accountant, I explained to her my bankruptcy, my recovery timeline, as well as my business development plans. This allowed her to provide appropriate guidance for my situation at the time while understanding where I was headed. This transparency also helped set appropriate expectations about fees and service levels. She knew I needed basic compliance support initially, but I might need more sophisticated tax planning as my business grew. This creates a mutual value between us, right? The strongest professional relationships that I've developed provided value in return to both, even during my recovery period. As a technology consultant, I was able to help several of my professional advisors with their own technology needs, creating a relationship that went beyond just simple fee for service transactions. This mutual approach made professionals more willing to work with me during lean periods and more invested in my long term success. Now, once these are built, you also want to ensure regular communication rhythm. I established regular communication schedules with key professionals rather than only contacting them when problems arose. Set up quarterly check ins with my accountant that helped identify tax planning opportunities and potential issues before they became problems. These regular touch points also help professionals understand how my situation was evolving and was able to adjust their guidance accordingly. So here's a structure of the advisory team that I've built over time. My professional support evolved into what I think of as like concentric circles from the inside out. The inner circle, which I contact quarterly, is my primary business accountant and business attorney who understand my complete financial and business situations. The next middle circle, which is twice a year biannual contact, are my insurance agent, estate planning attorney, as well as my fee only financial planner who provides specialized guidance in their own areas. And then finally, my outer circle are the annual or as needed contact that are the specialized professionals like real estate attorneys, tax specialists, and investment advisors who provide expertise for specific transactions or decisions. The best professional relationships that I have found included an educational component where professionals help me understand not just what to do, but why. My accountant spent time teaching me about tax planning principles so I could make better decisions between our meetings. This knowledge transfer approach meant I became less dependent on professional guidance for routine decisions while I still had access to expertise for complex issues. Now, as my advisory team grew, coordination became important. I learned to facilitate communication between professionals when their areas of expertise overlapped. For example, my accountant and estate planning attorney needed to coordinate on business succession planning. I also learned to avoid conflicts by being clear about each professional's role and ensuring they weren't working at cross purposes. Technology really helped in this with relationship management. I use simple technology tools to manage those professional relationships. I set up a contact management system with notes for each professional's area of expertise, set up calendar reminders in a shared calendar for all of the check ins, had document sharing systems for any projects that I had ongoing, and simple tracking of professional services costs, as well as my perceived value that I had received. And I regularly evaluated whether the professional relationships were providing that value that I needed in return. Are they responsive to my questions and needs? Do they provide the guidance appropriate to my current situation? Are they helping me avoid mistakes or identifying opportunities? Are their fees reasonable for the value provided? And do they seem invested in my long term success? And finally, there's transitioning between professional relationships. Some professional relationships that worked well during recovery became less appropriate as my situation evolved. The tax professional who was perfect for simple consulting income became inadequate when I needed more sophisticated business and investment tax planning. Learning to transition professional relationships without burning bridges became an important skill. I maintained positive relationships with early advisors, even when moving to professionals with different types or levels of expertise. The key insight is that building a financial security team isn't about finding, again, that perfect professional immediately. It's about building relationships that can evolve and grow as your own financial situation evolves and grows. Professionals who help during recovery may not be the same that help you build your wealth, but the relationship building skills remain valuable throughout your entire financial journey. Once again, let's make this immediately actionable for you. Building a financial security team doesn't happen overnight, but you can start it immediately and you can start developing these relationships systematically based on your current needs and recovery stage. Today, I'm going to share a professional support evaluation framework, the same framework that I use to identify, evaluate, and build relationships with financial professionals during my recovery. This is a 90-day professional team building plan. So, in the first month, you assess your current needs, identify your most pressing financial questions or challenges, research what types of professionals address these areas, ask some friends and family and other professionals for referrals, and maybe attend a free educational seminar to evaluate potential advisors. In month 2, you schedule your initial professional consultations. Schedule consultations with 2 to 3 professionals in your priority areas that you identified. Make sure to prepare specific questions and bring your relevant documentation. What you want to do is evaluate both the expertise and the communication style, as well as comparing fees and service approaches. Finally, in month 3, you establish that first professional relationship. Choose one professional to work with initially. Just one. Clearly define the scope of work and expected outcomes. Establish that communication schedule, as well as the expectations of communication, and then begin building the relationship through constant interaction. So here's your priorities in professional relationships. Number 1, tax professional, essential if you have business income, complex tax situations, or face significant financial challenges. Number 2, your legal professional. That's important for business formation, estate planning, contract needs. Number 3, your insurance professional for comprehensive coverage review and optimization. And finally, your financial planner. That's helpful for investment strategy and comprehensive financial planning. So, with all that in mind, this week, your assignment is to identify that one financial area where professional guidance would provide the most value for your current situation. Research 3 potential professionals in that area and schedule at least one consultation in the next week. Building professional relationships effectively have to be transparent about your financial situation. You have to come prepared with specific questions. Start with limited engagement to test that relationship. Communicate regularly, not just when problems arise, and then provide value in return when possible. Building this financial security team isn't about admitting you can't handle your finances alone. It's about leveraging the expertise to accelerate your progress and avoid costly mistakes. Today, we covered building your financial security team, recognizing when professional help actually helps, finding affordable guidance during recovery, and building relationships that grow with your financial situation. The key insight is building a financial security team isn't about admitting you can't handle your finances. It's about leveraging expertise to accelerate your progress and avoiding costly mistakes while building relationships that can support you throughout your financial journey. In our next episode, Housing Security After Financial Setbacks, we're addressing one of the most fundamental aspects of financial protection, securing stable housing during and after financial challenges. I'll share my journey from losing our family home to navigating rental markets with damaged credits and eventually building a path back to homeownership. We'll cover strategies for securing rental housing when your credit is impacted, rebuilding towards homeownership, and realistic timelines, managing those housing costs during recovery without sacrificing stability, and how location decisions can dramatically affect your financial rebuilding trajectory. As you work on identifying and building relationships with your financial professionals, remember that every expert relationship you develop strengthens your entire overall financial foundation. These aren't just service providers, they're partners in your long-term financial success. And as usual, I'd love to hear about your experiences building your financial security team. Visit realmoneypathway.com and let me know what types of professional guidance have been most valuable during your recovery, and even what challenges you're facing in finding appropriate professional support. Until next time, I'm David Kim, and remember, it's not just about money, it's about building your real money pathway to freedom. Thanks for joining me on the Real Money Pathway podcast. I'm David Kim, reminding you that financial success isn't about perfection, it's about progress. So subscribe now for more strategies, and remember, your journey to lasting wealth starts with the very next decision you make.